I just want to tell you, well, Noline's troubled.
Now, you think I don't know that? But she's got problems, Doreen.
Yeah, but there's rules, Jude. And stealing from another prisoner, that's just about the worst thing you can do.
Yeah? Well, I'm about sick of all these rules. The screws rules and yours, too.
How do you mean?
Well, you've been in and out of prisons all your life, right? You're used to it. But I only got in here to be near Sharon. And now Sharon is dead.
Well, I don't think I understand what you're talking about.
Well, it doesn't matter anyway.
Do we have to watch you 24 hours a day, Bryant?
You bloody stupid idiots! I knew she was a phony. From the very first time I knew it, right from the start. But poor little Josie, she needed help. So what else was Marcy gonna do?
They were ripping you off, Lizzie.
They were not ripping me off. They were going to be my family on the outside. But now you and Dora and that Mr. Reed, you bloody well got to ruin everything.
Well, at least you'll have what you wanted. You'll be famous, my love.
It's only me, Carrie. Carrie. You've really laid one on yourself, haven't you? Hey, I brought that money for you, Carrie. Come on. Carrie. What's the matter with you? Oh, my God, not with alcohol. Carrie, you know what that does?
Wentworth Detention Centre.
Paul Reed, please.
Who shall I say is calling?
Oh, just get him. It's urgent.
Paul Reed.
This is a friend of Carrie Vincent's, and I'm at her place now, and she's very sick.
Now, what do you mean she's very sick? What's happened?
Look, get over here straight away and bring an ambulance.
Who is this?
I told you I'm a friend of Carrie's, and if you want to save her life, you'll move fast.
Save her life? How serious is it?
Just hang on, honey. There'll be somebody here in a minute.
Oh, going home?
Yes, thank goodness.
It's been a pretty quiet day, really.
But there's trouble brewing. Noline Burke. She's trying to stir up something.
Oh, I think we should give her some leeway. She must be pretty upset after what's happened.
Upset? They're not like normal people, Meg. They don't have those sorts of feelings.
Oh, come on, Vera. You know the Burke family's always been very close. Leanne's death must have hit them hard.
Well, it's not showing. She seems cockier than ever. And for some reason, Bryant's become very friendly with her.
Yes, I've noticed that.
Anyway, let's not waste our time talking about that lot. How's your house hunting coming along?
Oh, I didn't know it'd be so difficult to find a suitable place. Everything I've looked at's wrong in one way or the other. But I'm going to see another one tomorrow morning before work.
Well, I'll come with you if you like.
Oh, would you? Well, if you don't mind missing out on an hour's sleep.
No, I usually get to bed pretty early, so it won't matter.
Fine, well, I'll pick you up round about 8 o'clock.
Right.
Excuse me, Miss Bennett.
Is there something wrong?
Yes, Carrie Vincent's in trouble.
Well, you haven't signed out.
Well, it must be something very urgent.
Oh, as if she wasn't pampered enough when she was in here. Now they're running around after her. Well, I think Mrs. Davidson ought to know about his flagrant disregard of the rules.
You want a cuppa, Lizzie?
No.
Oh, don't let's twist your arm, Lizzie. You know you always like a cuppa.
I said I didn't want one.
But come on, love. We're sorry about what happened. We were just trying to do what was best for you.
Yes, we were, Lizzie, honest.
For my own good.
Well, of course it was. How were we supposed to know that you knew Marcia was putting one over on you? We just didn't want to see you getting hurt.
Hurt? I couldn't be more bloody hurt than I am now. Why didn't you mind your own business?
We know it all worked out wrong, Lizzie, but we were trying to do the right thing.
Yeah.
You remember that time that I thought Kev was going to marry Dor for her money and I came to see you? You told me not to interfere, to keep out of it as long as Dor was happy, everything would be all right. Well, this was the same. Only you had to go and stick your noses into it.
Yeah. Well, see what good advice I gave you. Look, love, we're just trying to say we're sorry.
We are, Lizzie. We're your friends, remember?
Friends? What sort of friends are you? You didn't even ask me what I thought. And now you're gonna muck up the whole thing. Friends.
I'm Paul Reed. I'm the one who called you. How is she?
Well, that depends on how long ago she took the drugs.
Drugs?
Apparently she washed them down with alcohol. That's a pretty lethal mixture. We'll get her under oxygen and take her straight to the Alfred. Can you follow us? I need someone to fill in the details.
Yes, right.
That's just the sort of thing I feared might happen. That's why I hesitated to recommend her parole in the first place. Have you heard how she is?
Yes, I found the hospital early this morning. They've pumped out her stomach. She's going to be all right. They'll probably release her sometime this afternoon.
Well, she's broken her parole, so I suppose she'll be brought straight back here. Well, I suppose it's for the best.
I'm afraid I can't agree with that. Carrie is a manic depressant with an alcohol problem. She needs specialist treatment. She can't get that here.
No, I suppose you're right.
Well, I'd like to see her taken to a sanitarium where she can get that treatment. And I'm sure that if you make the recommendation to the board, they will reissue her parole.
Well, I'm afraid I'm not prepared to take that responsibility.
If she is brought back here, it will depress her further, and that could lead to insanity.
And you think she could get that sort of help in a sanitarium?
She'd have a far better chance there than here.
Yes, I suppose you're right. All right, I'll recommend it to the parole board and see what we can arrange.
Thank you. And if the board accept your recommendations, I shall take her to a sanitarium personally.
Well, I hope we've made the right decision.
Now, there's transport right past the front door to your work.
Yes? It's a bit small, don't you think?
Well, I really only wanted something small.
Well, once you get your furniture in here, it'll be a little bit cramped, don't you think?
You'll probably find with the built-in cupboards and robes you won't need a lot of your own furniture.
Well, it is your choice.
Yes, well, I really think it's what I want.
Well, from what you've told me, it's got everything you've been looking for.
Yes, it has really. Look, how soon do you think I could move in?
Well, if you come with me now down to the office and sign the lease, you can move in at once, if you like.
All right. I'll do that.
We'd better hurry. We've got to get back to work, you know.
Yes, Vera.
Some more news about Carrie?
Yes, the board has agreed to reapply her parole.
Oh, that's great. Well, I'll arrange to have her transferred to a sanitarium as soon as possible.
Well, I rang the hospital, then they said Carrie was ready to leave at any time.
Oh, that's good. And I really appreciate your efforts in this, Mrs. Davidson.
Well, it was you who persuaded me to make the recommendation to the board, so I shall expect you to keep a continuing interest in Carrie. She obviously needs someone.
Agreed, and I intend to do just that.
Fine.
By the way, I haven't had a chance to talk to you about this Lizzie Birdsworth situation yet.
Oh, yes, that woman who claimed to be her daughter. How did Lizzie take the news?
Very bad.
I'm not surprised. She's been alone for so long. I suppose it gave her something to look forward to when she gets out of here.
Well, I'm going to have to talk to her again about it, but I thought I'd give her some time to come to terms with it.
Yes, poor Lizzie. I suppose we'll have that problem again of her not wanting to leave here when her release is due.
It's sad, isn't it? When a prison becomes the only home that a person knows.
Yes. I'm concerned about another woman in here, too, Noline Burke. She's shown very little reaction to her daughter's death, and I'm rather afraid of what she may be holding back.
You think she feels grief, then?
Well, not so much feels it as represses it.
Yeah. Well, according to her file, when her brother Colin died, she showed a very strong reaction.
Yeah, she blamed the system and lashed out wildly. But I think that hurt has made her put up a defense.
I suppose anybody can become callous if they're hurt often enough. Oh, by the way, I've received a report from the Child Welfare Department on the Burke children. I'm going to have to discuss it with Noline.
Well, you'll find her very uncooperative, I'm afraid.
Yes, but surely when she realizes the situation... well, I'll have to give it a go anyway. Meantime, I'm going to the hospital to get Carrie.
Well, tell her we all wish her well.
But I don't need anything bigger. Anyway, I've signed the lease now.
Burke's here for a buyout, Mr. Jackson.
Oh, yes, right, I'll get it. We need some more cigarettes. The supply in the store is low.
Right, I'll order it in. Come on, Burke, you can leave those things in yourself.
Oh, not on your Nelly. Them other bludgers will bash me up and knock it all off.
Yes?
I'd like to see Doreen Anderson.
Well, I have to speak to Mrs. Davidson and get her permission first.
If you would, it's very important.
Come in.
There's a visitor for Doreen. I thought I'd better check with you first.
Oh?
Yes, it's, David Austin.
Oh, you're joking, surely.
I'm afraid not. He says it's very important that he sees Doreen.
What on earth could he want with her?
I don't know. But it must be something very urgent for him to have the nerve to come back here after what's happened.
Yes.
Well, what do you want me to tell him?
Let him see Burns. Take her along to the interview room yourself, Meg, and listen carefully. I'm curious to know what Mr. Austin could want with Doreen. I don't trust the man an inch.
All right, Burke, what's the matter?
As soon as you leave me alone, they'll bash me up and pinch all my stuff.
All right, leave it to me. Now, listen here, you lot. If anything should happen to Burke, I'll know who's responsible. So unless you want to spend some time in the pound, I suggest you steer clear. You understand?
Oh, give us one. Oh, you've got plenty. You can spare one. Lizzie! Come on, give us one. I'll give you back two when we get our buy-ups. Drop dead. Oh, I hope they rot your lungs.
Doreen, a visitor for you.
Me? That's funny. Kevin should be at work.
It isn't Kevin. You put that cigarette out and get back to work, Burke.
If it's not Kevin, I wonder who it is. No one else ever comes to see me.
Come along.
Just pick up what you need for the time being. I'll get the rest of it later. Carrie, your paintings and sketches, where are they?
What?
Your paintings and your sketches, they've gone.
Oh, I don't know. They were here when I... David probably took them.
David Austin.
Yeah, David Austin. That's all he ever really cared about, you know? My work and what he could get for it.
And what about the woman who phoned me? You still don't know who that was? Oh, well, we'd better report this to the police, that your paintings have been stolen.
Look, I don't give a stuff what happened to them. Just get rid of all this junk, will you?
No. You'll be using that again eventually.
No, I won't.
Now, look, you're distressed at the moment. In a few days' time, things will seem a whole lot different.
Just get rid of them.
Okay. You got everything you need?
Everything I need. That'll be the day.
Mrs. Burns, I'm David Austin.
Yeah?
I'm Carrie Vincent's agent. I'm also a very good friend of hers.
Oh, how is she?
She's fine. She was telling me that she gave you one of her paintings.
Yeah, as a wedding present. Why?
Well, I was wondering if you'd be interested in selling it to me.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, as I say, it was a wedding present, And I wouldn't like to hurt Carrie's feelings by selling it.
No, it's fine. I checked with her. She doesn't mind at all.
Why do you want to buy it?
Well, I'm getting together a collection of some of Carrie's works, so they might be of interest in time to come. I'm prepared to offer you $200 for that painting.
Oh, well, I'd have to speak to Kevin and see what he thinks, because it was given to the both of us.
Well, I'm sure he'd be very pleased that you made such a profitable sale. Look, I tell you what, I'm a very generous man. I'll give you $200 and $200 for Kevin, too.
$400?
But you will have to make up your mind immediately.
All right.
It's not quite that simple, Doreen.
What do you mean, Mrs. Jackson?
Yes, so what is the problem?
Before they're allowed to sell anything, they have to have Mrs. Davidson's approval.
But she won't mind, Mrs. Jackson. Why should she?
She still has to be asked. Would you wait here, please? Come with me, Doreen.
And she seems to think that David Austin took them.
Oh, surely not. I mean, I know the man's unprincipled, but could he stoop so low?
Oh, there's always the possibility that the woman who phoned me took the paintings.
Have you notified the police?
No, I wanted to, but Carrie wouldn't let me.
It's strange you should mention David Austin. He's here at the moment to visit Doreen Burns.
Well, the man's got gall, I'll say that for him. What does he want with Doreen Burns?
Come in.
It's about Doreen and David Austin?
Oh, yes, Mrs. Jackson.
He wants Doreen to sell the painting that Carrie gave her as a wedding present. He's offered $400 for it.
Well, that's odd. Why should he want that particular painting?
Well, he claims he's making a collection of all her early work.
Well, I suppose that's feasible.
Yes, that's very, very feasible. If Austin believes that Carrie is either dying or dead...
You mean it could gain in value?
Yes, her death would create demand for her work.
But how could Austin know about Carrie? It was handled fairly discreetly, wasn't it?
Unless he was there while she was unconscious, and he, in fact, took the paintings. Listen, I have an idea how we can hit Mr. Austin where it hurts him most. Could we talk to Doreen, please?
Come in, Doreen.
Mrs. Jackson has explained about Mr. Austin's offer, Doreen.
Oh, so you don't mind if I sell it?
Question is, do you want to sell it, Doreen?
Well, I'd sort of like to keep it, you know, for sentimental reasons, but gee, $400. Well, it'd fix all the damage on Kevin's truck, you know, that he did a while back.
I see. Well, then, in that case, I think we might be able to do a little bit better.
Lost something? Oh, Truth, what are you doing sneaking around, you old bag? Spying on me. Now, listen, I've got to do a deal with you.
Deal with you? You got to be joking.
Now, listen, I've got to have a packet of fags.
Fat chance.
Oh, shut up, Noline, and listen. I've got to have some fags and I'll pay you double.
No way.
Oh, come on, Noline, I'm done for fag.
All right, Lizzie, you can have some fags.
Oh, you beauty.
You can have a packet for $5.
$5? That's highway robbery.
Take it or leave it. If you're really dying for a fag, what's $5?
All right, then. I think I've got that much. $5 for a packet of fags.
Yeah, I reckon I could make a fortune in the tobacco business. Where did you get that?
It's my business.
Well, I'm making it mine. Now, come on, Lizzie. Where did you get it?
I bought it. I bought a whole packet.
You bought it? Who from... Not from Burke.
What if it was?
Well, I thought you'd have more sense and have anything to do with her.
She was the only one who had any fags, wasn't she?
What'd she charge you?
$5.
$5 for one packet? You must be out of your head.
Listen, it's like I said, you mind your own business and leave me alone, B. After what you and Dor did to me, you can both go to blazes.
I wonder where Doreen is. She'll get back soon. She's going to miss her lunch.
Ah, yes, that's the one. Well, so it's all right to proceed with our little transaction, is it?
Oh, yeah, it's all right. I'm allowed to sell it to you if I want to, that is.
But I thought you decided. You haven't changed your mind, have you?
Oh, well, I really like it too much to sell it to you for $400. You see, it's got real sentimental value.
How about $500?
Well, that's not really nearly enough, you see, because sentimental value, that comes real expensive.
$1,000?
I think you can do better than that.
All right, let's stop playing games. How much do you want for it?
$1,500.
All right, but not a cent more.
Oh, no, that'll do really nicely. Oh, you don't mind if I have cash, do you? Because, you know, I don't really understand about cheques.
Would you mind being reasonable? Who carries that sort of money around with them?
Oh, I know, but you see, cheques don't seem to be real money to me somehow.
All right, I'll take this to the bank, and I'll get it cashed, and I'll bring it back here.
Gee, I don't know. Doesn't seem right selling a wedding present, you know.
I'll be back as soon as I can.
Noline, I want to talk to you about your family.
What about me family?
I've had a report from the Child Welfare Department about your mother and the children.
What are they doing reports on them for? Why don't they mind their own bloody business?
The Child Welfare Department have pointed out that your mother is in financial difficulty, but she won't accept Social Security checks.
Too bloody right she won't. Burkes don't take handouts from anybody. We can look after ourselves.
How? There's none of you working.
We still get by.
Yes, but not legally. You're in jail, your father's in jail, your brother's in jail. Do you want the rest of the children to follow suit one by one?
Look, we won't take bloody charity. Why don't you lot mind your own bloody business?
Noline, I am trying to help you. You see, that is my job, to help people in
Your
your...
job. You lot cause nothing but trouble. That stupid bitch who was here before you...
If you mean Jean Vernon, she was an excellent social...
Vernon, that's the one. Look what she done to Leanne.
I don't think you can blame Miss Vernon for what happened to Leanne.
Oh, yeah? Well, Vernon's the one that started Leanne accepting things off her. Made the kid go soft. Then the first halfway decent job she pulls, she gets sprung by the coppers. If she'd stuck with me, she would never have got caught.
Noline, you've been in and out of jail so many times.
Yeah, but I done hundreds of jobs I never got lumbered for, haven't I? Sometimes your luck just runs out. If Leanne had stuck with me, she'd still be all right. Only they stuck her in a remand home, then she finishes up in here. Next thing I know, she's bloody well dead.
I don't see that you can blame the Social Welfare Department for that. Now, listen to me. When your father was working, legally, I mean, he was paying taxes. Therefore, your mother is entitled to Social Security. It is not charity.
Oh, look, I don't care what you bloody call it. You can stick it. We won't have it. Can I go now?
Noline, if your mother cannot show adequate means of support, the Child Welfare Department will take the children away from her.
Yeah, nobody takes her Burke's kids off them.
They will, for the sake of the children.
Like to see them try. My mum can give as good as she gets.
Miss Bennett, you can take her away now. Read.
Paul, I've just heard from the front gate that Austin is on his way back. I think we should all meet him at reception.
That sounds like a very good idea. I'll be right down there.
Ah, hello, Mrs. Davidson. How are you?
Very well, thank you, Mr. Austin. How are you?
I'm fine. I suppose you've heard about the painting?
Yes, yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, that one of Carrie's paintings should be worth so much. $1,500, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right. I've just been to the bank to get Doreen some real money. She didn't quite seem to understand about checks.
Well, that's understandable. She's probably heard so many stories from the women in here about checks, she just doesn't trust them.
Yes, of course.
You realize I shall have to hold the money for Doreen, Mr. Austin? I shall give you a receipt for it.
Oh.
It was sad about Carrie, wasn't
it? Carrie? What do you mean?
You haven't heard, Mr. Austin?
No, well, you see, I'm not supposed to see her, am I? And I haven't seen her for some time.
Oh, then you wouldn't have heard about her attempted suicide.
No. Attempted, did you say?
Yes, fortunately, somebody got to her in time.
Yes, she's recovering in a nursing home. No doubt she'll soon be well again and able to paint hundreds of paintings like the one you're carrying.
Hurry up,
up, Burke. I haven't got all day.
It's not my fault I had to go to the Dunnings. That Mr. Reed gives me the...
Just watch your language. Take your hands out of your pockets and walk properly. I don't know why we pander to you lot the way we do. If I had my way, we'd get no buy-up privileges at all. Burke!
Yes, Miss Bennett?
You can go to the recreation room, Burke.
Oh, I've got a bit of a headache, Miss Bennett. You don't like a bit of a lie down?
Suit yourself, but just stay out of trouble.
I'm not looking for trouble, Miss Bennett.
Tell us where you got them.
I bought them.
How could you? You know we've lost our buy-up privileges.
She got them from Noline Burke.
Oh, I wonder she'd let you have them.
Oh, well, she had to pay through the nose for them. Come on, tell them, Lizzie. It's my business.
Now listen, what did she charge you for them, Lizzie?
I just said that's my business. She paid $5 for one lousy packet of fags.
$5? You have to be crazy to pay that.
I just had to have them, don't you understand? Yeah, just like Burke to make a profit out of us, too.
Good. What a dreary-looking pack of old cows. Missing your fags, are you? I got plenty.
I'd like to shove them right down your throat.
Anyone want one?
Oh, giving them away now, are you?
Oh, that'll be the day. No, but I'll make you a deal. Only 25 cents a fag.
25 cents, you bludger.
Yeah, come off it. That's a bit much, Noline.
That's the deal. Take it or leave it.
I'd like to wipe the floor with you.
Listen, drop it, will you?
All right, what's going on?
You're getting at me, Mr. Fletcher. On account of I got buy-up stuff and they haven't.
I warned you lot.
Then you tell her to stop waving those fags around under our noses. She's just trying to get our backs up.
Well?
No, honest, I never done nothing. Just ask Judy.
You can't expect me to protect you if you go looking for trouble, Burke.
They're just jealous. Listen, I don't feel safe with them working in the laundry. Couldn't you put me on kitchen duties tomorrow?
You're after something in the kitchen, are you, Burke?
No, honest. I just don't feel safe with them.
All right, then, I'll put you on the cleaning roster. Until then, I suggest you get back to your cell and stay there.
Yes, Mr. Fletcher.
Boy, am I glad that day's over.
Bad one?
Yes, I think Noline Burke really capped it off for me, though.
Well, I think she affects most people that way. Why, what's she done this time?
I was just trying to convince her that she should accept Social Security.
Oh, that's hopeless. I remember Jean trying at least a dozen times to get that through to her. I wouldn't waste my breath if I were you.
Yeah. Does seem rather pointless, doesn't it? Well, how was your day?
Not bad. I signed a lease on a rather nice little flat this morning. I'm moving in tomorrow.
Oh, really? Well, when's the housewarming party?
Well, actually, I hadn't thought of it. But it is rather a nice idea. I'll have a check on the duty roster and see which night's best.
Well, if you need any help, I've got the truck and everything, you know.
Oh, no thanks, Paul. I seem to have everything pretty well organised. I've got the removalist calling early tomorrow morning. Well, actually, it seems that tomorrow night is the best night.
Oh, is that going to give you time to get everything organised?
Well, I think the catering will be mostly takeaway, so I'll manage. Can you come?
Yeah, sure. I'll bring a bottle.
Fine. Well, I'll just check on everyone else.
All right, we'll really warm the place up for you.
Now, not too much. I don't want to be thrown out the day after I've moved in.
But why can't we go back to Echuca?
Because they'd probably be able to trace us back there. Then we'd be in a lot of trouble.
But there's not much money left, is there? You said there wasn't enough to stay at the hotel another night.
No, dump that it was. Oh, don't worry, love. At least we've still got enough money for our train tickets.
And then what do we do?
Oh, I don't know. Something will come along. I might be able to get a job. Something will turn up.
I wish we didn't have to leave Grandma. I mean, Lizzie.
No. She was a nice old stick.
I wish we hadn't pretended.
Oh, look, it's no good wishing all the time. What's done is done.
Couldn't we just stay and try to explain to her why we did it?
Oh, yeah, then I'd probably end up in jail just like her, wouldn't I? Then who'd look after you?
Thank you. And shut the door behind you, please. Look, wasn't that all? Oh.
Hi, I'm Gail Summers, your next-door neighbour. Thought you might be able to do with this.
Oh, are you a lifesaver? Well, come in. I'm Meg Jackson. Have you ever seen such a mess?
My place looks a bit like this most of the time.
Well, I really do appreciate this.
I know what a hassle moving in can be. Besides, I'm a born sticky beak. I was dying to find out what my new neighbour were like.
Oh, I'm afraid I'm not terribly exciting.
Oh, you are to me. I get pretty lonely, and the last tenants here were 2 men. Be great having a woman to talk to.
Well, I'm afraid I'm at work most of the time.
Wish I could work. But I got 3 kids. You can hear one of them now. That's the baby, Steve.
Yes, what's the matter with him?
I don't know. He screams all the time, and I can't do anything for him.
Have you taken him to a doctor?
Yeah, but he reckons there's nothing wrong. I tell you what, it's driving me up the wall.
Yes, I suppose it does. How old are the other children?
Oh, Katrina's 5 and Jason's 3. Believe me, they're a real handful. Tim's no help.
Tim?
Oh, me husband. He doesn't see much of the kids. He's not home very often, and when he is, he's nearly always blind drunk. Oh, listen, can I give you a hand with some of this furniture?
Oh, would you? Yeah, I don't think I can move it by myself, and I haven't got long because I've got to go to work.
Get stuck into it.
I really do appreciate this. Are you sure that baby's all right?
Told you I can't do anything for him. He screams whether I'm there or not. Where do you want this?
Well, over here. Would you believe? I'm going to give a housewarming party here tonight.
You are making it hard on yourself, aren't you?
Make sure you do that properly, Burke.
Yeah, sure.
These will need Mrs. Davidson's signature before you send them out.
Hi.
Morning. Move into your new flat?
Yes, I feel as though I've done a day's work already. I've been up since the crack of dawn. Are you free tonight?
Well, yes, I think so.
Oh, how about coming round for a few drinks?
Well, no, not on your first night. I mean, you'd have too much to do.
You're right there. But I have managed to unpack the crockery and the cutlery, and the rest of the cases and packing cartons I've thrown into the bedroom, so the flat should look presentable enough.
Well, I wouldn't want to impose.
Oh, don't be silly. I'm asking a few people. We'll make it a bit of a housewarming. I'd like you to come.
Well, yes, I haven't been out very much at all lately, so I'd love to. Thanks, Meg.
Good. Well, you'll just have to take pot luck, but it should be fun.
I don't understand how you used the other one so quickly. I'm sure there was still a fair bit in it.
Oh, no, it was nearly empty, Miss Bennett. And you did say you wanted me to do the job proper.
Where's the detergent?
Can't see it, Miss Bennett.
Here it is. There. That should be enough. Now, don't waste it.
Thanks, Miss Bennett.
It's not fair, Mrs. Jackson. I don't want to speak to him.
Well, he wants to see you, Lizzie.
Well, I don't want to see him, and I'm not even going to talk to him.
Don't be silly, Lizzie. I can't understand why you've got it in for Mr. Reed all of a sudden.
Because he's an interfering busybody, and I'm sick of people sticking their noses into other things that don't concern them.
Well, I think you should be grateful that he found out that Mrs. Huntley isn't who she said she was.
Do you think I needed him to tell me that?
You mean you knew?
Of course I did. Ought to know when someone's my own daughter. What do you think I am? Stupid?
Lizzie! Now, Lizzie, stop that!
Why can't you leave me alone? I don't want to have nothing to do with you.
Now, Lizzie, stop that nonsense and sit down.
It's all right, Meg. Would you leave this to me, please?
I'll be waiting outside when you're ready to go back.
I'm ready now.
Still upset, Lizzie?
What do you expect?
Well, I can understand how disappointed you must have been to find out that Marcia wasn't your daughter.
Disappointed? Oh, what would you know?
The woman obviously read the story in the papers about your compensation. Now, that amounts to extortion. And the police should be notified so that charges can be laid.
The police? I'm not going to have anything to do with the bloody cops, and I'm not going to lay any charges.
The woman was going to take you for your money.
She needed it for Josie.
And you can't even be sure that that story was true.
Yes, I can. Josie wouldn't pretend to me.
For heaven's sake, Lizzie, they both lied to you. Didn't Josie pretend to be your granddaughter?
Yeah. But Josie and me, we clicked. She wouldn't pretend to me. She really loved me. I know she did.
Well, I can't stand by and see you taken for your money.
Money? What good's money to me out there on me, Pat Malone?
All right, Lizzie, now, I think I can understand how you feel. But you must understand that I cannot stand by and see you conned by an imposter. Now, we'll talk about this again in a couple of days' time when you're feeling better. Mrs. Jackson.
Come on, Lizzie.
Mum, he wouldn't be looking for us, would he?
We can't take any chances.
Let's make a run for it.
Where to? Oh, where are we going to run to? We've got no money. We can't go back to Echuca. It's just one big mess.
Well, what are we going to do? Mum?
We're gonna go back and see Lizzie. We're gonna tell her the truth about everything. Come on, Jess.
Oh, I thought at least you'd care about what happened to me family after Lee, eh?
Oh, well. Now, what has this got to do with your family?
Well, see, I've worked out how to get in the storeroom and knock off a lot of fags, you see. Then I sell them to the poor other women who haven't got any. I feel really sorry for them poor buggers, you know.
Oh, do you? And I bet they'll just have to pay through the nose for them too, won't they?
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's where me family comes into it, you see. That's how I make the money to send to me mother to stop the little kids from being taken off from her by the social welfare. That's what Randy Reed reckons they're going to do.
Come off it. The women in here would never make enough money to help your mother.
Oh, there's a bit of money floating around in here. And every little bit helps, you know. Oh, come on. Don't you reckon you at least owe me family something?
All right, what do you want me to do?
And still hot?
Oh, should be.
Well, the move go all right?
Yes, but I hope I don't have to go through that for a long time. I wouldn't have had the place in reasonable order at all before work if it hadn't been for the help of the lady next door.
Oh, the lady next door. Well, it doesn't take you long to make friends.
Yes, she came in with a cup of coffee just when I needed it.
Probably wanted a sticky beak at your things.
Yes, well, she did admit that was part of it, but she seems very nice and a little bit lonely.
Oh, she's not married?
Oh, yes, very much so. She has 3 small children. I gather they're a bit of a handful for her.
Wonder she has time to get lonely.
She seemed desperate for conversation. Don't think her husband talks to her too much.
Well, she did say a lot in a short time.
Yes, she talked the head off the entire time we were unpacking and moving the furniture. But I was very grateful for her help.
I did offer to come and help.
Yes, I know you did, Vera, and so did Paul Reed, but I thought I'd be able to manage on my own.
Paul Reed? Don't tell me he was thoughtful enough to offer his help.
Oh, Vera, he's not as black as you paint him.
That's a matter of opinion.
Well, he's coming tonight. I hope you don't let that put you off.
Tonight? What do you mean?
Well, I thought I'd have a few friends round for drinks. Care to come?
Oh, I don't think I'm doing anything. Yes, that'd be nice.
Would you like to bring someone?
No, I won't bother bringing a partner. There'll probably be a lot of shop talk, and none of my friends would be really interested in that.
No.
Excuse me. I've come to see Lizzie, Mrs. Birdsworth.
Well, I didn't think we'd be seeing you back here.
I've come to see my mother.
Your mother?
Yes.
Well, I think that should be all right.
Will I fetch Lizzie?
Yes, they can see her in the garden.
Must be love you missing Kevin.
Yeah, I wish I could have another day out with him.
I wonder what he'll say when you tell him about the 1,500 snackers.
Yeah, he won't believe it when I tell him I got all that money just for a little painting.
Turned out to be a pretty decent wedding present after all.
I'll say. But I hope Carrie doesn't mind me selling it.
No, she won't. It's truth. She could sell all her paintings that much, she'd be worth a packet.
Yeah, lucky thing.
Suddenly there's a bad smell in here. Still down for a fag? I'm soon going to have plenty. Big deal. Yep, enough for everyone. Oh, yeah? At what price? Oh, well, I won't be cheap. Not when they're so hard to come by.
How are you going to come by them? There's a limit to what you can have from buy-ups.
I'm not talking about buy-up. I'm talking about cartons and cartons of them.
What are you up to, you scrawny little snake? Now, when are you going to stop letting her hide behind you? Time you woke up to yourself. She's only using you, you know.
I know that.
Then you are a damn fool.
That's my business, Bea.
Lizzie, Mrs. Huntley and her daughter are here to see you.
Marcia and Josie.
Yes. Well, come on, we don't want to keep them waiting.
Oh, no.
Well, I'll be damned.
Now, all you've got to do is keep knitting.
Yeah, I know. You've told me that 100 times already.
That is a smart idea, though, isn't it?
Ah, brilliant.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Oh, it's good to see you. We missed you. Oh, I missed you too, love. Oh.
I've got something to tell you.
You don't have to tell me anything.
I'm not your daughter. I'm not Marcia.
Who are you then?
Ellen Morgan. I was in the same orphanage as Marcia when we were kids. She was my best friend. And we used to tell each other things about family and things.
She talked to you about me?
Yes, a lot. She used to tell me everything that she could remember about you and your husband. That's how I know so much about your family background.
Do you know what happened to the real Marcia?
We kept in touch. She was killed in a car accident just a few months before her 25th birthday.
Oh.
I know what she must think of me.
I'll tell you what I think of you. I don't care who you are. You're my daughter now. And Josie's my granddaughter, and that's all that matters to me. I knew all along you weren't Marcia, but it was nice to have a new family.
Oh, Lizzie,
You're wonderful. No, I'm not. I'm just a silly old goat who can't keep out of trouble. But I will from now on, now that I've got you two.
I want you to know that what I did for Josie's sake, and everything about her, that was true.
Don't you worry. I'll give you the money. I'll sign it all over to you.
You can't do that, Matt.
Of course I can. It's my money and I can do what I like with it.
They all know.
Yeah, Mr. Reed found out. But he can lay off me. It's my money and I can do what I want with it, and I want to give it to my new family.
You better move on. You've been in here for ages.
Well, hold your horses.
Yeah, but you can't still hold that much, you know.
Well, if these fags mean money to me, I've got to get as many as I can.
Very lucky the board decided to reapply the parole.
Yes, well, I recommended it. Paul Reed convinced me that Vincent would be better off in a sanitarium.
What are you doing here, Bryant?
Oh, you know, just having a quiet stroll, Mr. Fletcher.
Yes, you should be with the others in the recreation room. Now get a move on.
Sure.
Might as well lock this now. It's almost dinner time.
Yes, you might as well.
Yes, well, I suppose you should continue painting him there, wouldn't you?
I suppose.
He used to give me roses. I wish he could again, but that was on the outside, and things were different then. On the inside, the sun still shines, and the rain falls down, but the sun and rain are prisoners too. Around. Last night I dreamed we were together, sharing